Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, FD for Sage5.tv, and welcome to our 15K to 600K portfolio. A portfolio we put together during the last bear market. Thinking if we invest, say, 15K, and at the top of our budget, we were invested approximately $11,400, and we're going to try and manage that portfolio from, say, 15K to about $600,000, which will have been quite a milestone. It will probably have been 400x. That's what we were looking at the time, based on what had happened during 2021 into 2022. Thought it was going to be possible, but it has turned out not to be. So this is a portfolio we've invested in ecosystems like the Ethereum ecosystem, Polkadot ecosystem, Cardano ecosystem, Cosmos ecosystem, Avalaunch ecosystem, and the last category we call the mixed portfolio, where anything goes. And the objective was to invest approximately 15K. We stopped at 11.4, which I think was actually, would have stopped earlier, but we stopped at 11.4, which was actually a decent move because it meant 3.6K that we did not invest is probably what we were playing with as far as our crash portfolio is concerned. Another portfolio we created following flash crash of October 2025, where things just collapsed. Anyway, but before I proceed with the updates, guys, please know that I am not a financial advisor. If you do require financial advice, please avoid someone who is actually trained to give you financial advice. The information contained in this video is just for educational as well as entertainment purposes. Please do not watch this video if you are from the UK, because the UK authorities do not wish for retail investors to watch any crypto-related content, because you may end up losing your funds. Do not invest what you're not prepared to lose. No one wants to lose money, even though we state this disclaimer clearly. No one wants to lose money, but you take a gamble. If you lose, you lose. If you win, great. That's it. Let's come back to our 15K to 600K, where we are going to kick off with Ethereum, where we still hold those three positions in PerpetualProtocol, VulcanForged, and AEVO. And in this basket, the Ethereum basket is VulcanForged that is collapsed more than the others, because it's down 85.23%. AEVO is down 78.86%, and PerpetualProtocol is down 78.63%. Out of these three, it's quite tough to say which one will actually recover if the recovery is going to be on. For VulcanForged, of course, it's going to be gaming and metaverse. If they return, it will come back with a vengeance. And I'm actually considering moving on VulcanForged, this PRR token, into my private portfolio, because I think that price is quite attractive. But then if gaming doesn't come back, this could collapse another 90% from where it is. Quite possible. But I'm considering that. I will think about it, but I think if it drops to, say, 40 cents, I would not think about it. I'll just go and open a position in. At the moment, I'm thinking maybe it could drop lower. We'll see. As for PerpetualProtocol and AEVO, I think these two, what they set out to do, they failed to actually deliver, because you've had the latest entrants doing quite well in the likes of Hyperliquid and many more, and these two have just regressed. They've not made any inroads whatsoever into the market they were in for quite a while. This is what happens because some of these founders, they stop innovating or just extracting value without reinvesting in the protocol. Because I think if they'd done their jobs well, you could turn around and say different design principles, but hey, they had the chance and the space to actually kind of shift or pivot their design principles, which they didn't. Now, here we are, heading towards zero every time prices dip. So that's on Ethereum. Next, let's go to the mixed portfolio, where we hold positions in Pythnetwork, Beam, NEARProtocol, and Shrapnel. And with these four, I think Shrapnel is gone at 98.52%. I don't think it's coming back. But Pyth, probably there is a chance, because Pyth is integrated in so many things. So just a case of will it actually deliver, because it's got so many integrations and collaborations. So it recovered slightly over the 7-day period, and that portfolio is now valued at $148.64. But it's still down a massive 81.78%, which is huge. If it were part of our 2K to 100K, we would have probably said we're not going to be updating this at all. Then you got Beam, another project I thought would have done well, a gaming comeback, but we'll wait and see, because the team behind Beam are doing quite a lot of things. They're also into AI and compute and storage. So we'll see. Are they actually focused on each and every single one of those, or they're just spreading themselves too thin? We don't know. So our Beam basket is valued at $99.32, down 81.58%. NEARProtocol sitting at $1.69. Basket is now valued at $95.92, down 48.81%. So this one might actually be worth maybe considering jumping in, add to our NEARProtocol position, because being down 48.81% at this point, if you still believe that the bull market is progressing, which I think it is, NEAR will probably be worth adding to. Shrapnel, like I said, we're not going to be wasting time adding to that, because it's just, I think it's gone. It's one of those things you don't expect everything to come through. It's when you invest into, say, 20 or 40 projects, maybe you do well in 15 and the other 25 or so, it just collapse. It happens. You make your gains on. Okay, so that's on the mixed portfolio. If we go to Polkadot, we started with 4, now we're left with 2, and those 2 will probably only left with one, and that one is still a massive doubt. So we're not going to waste our time in investing because the poor got position invested over $2,000. I think it's going to zero very soon. The next one is Cosmos, the Cosmos ecosystem, where we initially invested in 6 positions. Then we sold our positions in Akashi. Then EVMOS decided to rug, and Persistence and the XPRT coin collapsed. We just left with maybe 3 in Osmosis, a DEX. This one I'm seriously considering adding to that because I think when DeFi comes back, it is DEXs that are going to make a killing. So Osmosis at just under 6 cents, I think this one is primed to do well. This is a good entry position for me anyway. So I am going to be considering adding one position on this at some point. Portfolio is valued at $57.33, down 88.31%, so massively down. Axelar, I understand the team actually got bought out by someone else, so I don't know whoever is left with moving this. Are they going to be delivering okay on this? You never know. But the Axelar position is valued at $78.57, down 78.6%. The only green, apart from Akashi, that we exited is InjectiveProtocol ING coin, priced at $5.22. Portfolio is valued at $522.96, and it's up 25.37%. So again, another promising ecosystem, but yeah, and I also understand that the Cosmos itself and the Atom coin, they've been a change in management. They're trying different things. I don't know what happened. I think people just got greedy or got excited by the whatever funds they were getting or extracting from the system. Next, you got Cardano, where we still hold all 5 positions, but I think Lenify is pretty much gone because I think the team rugged. Good luck to them. Hopefully, whatever funds they rugged with, they did something better. Because if they didn't, you'll be back in the trenches again, trying to create your next rug. So the only 4 that I think we'll be updating on is Cardano's ADA, Sunday Swap is Sunday, World Mobile Tokens, WMTX token, which is a multi-chain token now, and Wing Riders WRT token. So starting with ADA, priced at 39.7 cents, portfolio is valued at $477.12, and overall it's up 38.85%. Sunday Swap in the Sunday token, priced at 1.9 cents, so at about 0.2 cents. Position is valued at $204.89. Overall, it's down 72.13%. World Mobile Tokens, WMTX token, priced at 6.7 cents. Portfolio is valued at $135.57. Overall, it's down 46.6%. So I would say still relatively okay, holding okay. Next, you got Wing Riders WRT token. This week is priced at about 1 cent, slightly under. Position is valued at $106.64, and overall is down 77.46%. So the Cardano position, you could say, okay, it collapsed in recent times, but it was holding on okay throughout previous 3 or 4 years. Finally, you got Avalaunch, where we hold 3 positions in AVA, Zava, Joe, formerly Trader Joe, now LFJ Joe. Let's kick off with the native coin, which is AVAX. This week priced at $13.96. Portfolio is valued at $729.49. Overall, it's up 1.55%. Avalanche's Zava this week is priced at 14.4 cents. Portfolio is valued at $364.25 and is down overall 24.5%. And finally, is LFJ's Joe token. This week is priced at 6.7 cents. Portfolio is valued at $80.06, down 83.5%. So some of these DEXs, I mean, this is the problem with some of these governance tokens, you see, because they've got no other use. They're not even being used for transaction fees. So what's the point in holding them? To get rewards or something? That's why they collapse like this. So the lesson, when you're holding governance tokens, be careful, because when things get tough, team will rug you. That is one of the lessons that is coming out of the latest collapse in some of these altcoin prices. But in terms of the size of the portfolio, it could have been better, but we are where we are, guys. Live and learn. That's why we thought, okay, this is the hand we've been dealt with by the markets. What do we do next? Yeah, as if we haven't had enough of the crypto markets, especially altcoins, we went back and we are creating new portfolios. We'll be creating more. There is another one that I'm keeping that just more private because of size and everything. I've started opening positions or created a portfolio, private portfolio for privacy. That one is a 50-50 gamble, because if it's global governments or world governments decide to ban all privacy coins, that niche will be gone. But then most of the projects we're entering into, you can actually choose how much you want to share, how much you want to divulge, and for what purpose. So I think they will actually capture most of the market, because you got some institutions that don't want their business to be done in public anyway, and you got some people who don't want to transact in public. They make a transfer, everything is there for everyone to see. They know who you paid, where it went, and stuff. So some people want to maintain their privacy. So we'll think about it. If we see things moving in certain ways, we may just mirror that to an extent and do privacy narrative portfolio that we make public. That will be a separate separate portfolio. Okay, so that will be in addition to the Crush portfolio, which I think so far is doing rather well compared to these two legacy portfolios, the 2K to 100K and 15K to 600K. Anyway, guys, that's it for the update to our 15K to 600K. Until the next one, FD for Switch5.tv. Signing out for now. Bye.